Hello adventurers, my name is Diogo Guerra and this is OFFroad-OFFcourse. Today we are going to talk about racing. You see, I was lucky enough to have a petrolhead father, who back in the 80s and early 90s made sure I'd sit front row to witness the unrepeatable pinnacle of motorsport madness. He also brought upon himself the wrath of the whole family by letting me race go-karts as soon as I was big enough. É isso, Oscar, é isso. Bravo, Oscar. Later, I also joined his Peugeot 504 team on a 24-hour race, 3 times, and later I also raced in Baja 500 with both my Tenorés. The best old days were indeed the best. One thing that I learned with this experience is that most times the backstage of a race is just as exciting as the race itself, but most people don't get to see any of that. Until today, that changes today. Thanks to our friend João, who is a very talented mechanic and who often works with racing teams, expeditions and private pilots, I got an invitation by Team Bianchi Prata to join his team as a videographer and share with the world the ins and outs of a racing event. Although I think it was clearly a bad choice to put me behind the camera instead of on top of a motorcycle.
You chose poorly.
So without further ado, let's buckle up and follow Team Bianchi Prata for a weekend racing in Baja do Pinhal. We arrived on Friday, way before anyone else, and immediately began setting up our pit. In case you don't know, the pit is basically where the team establishes their headquarters. It's where the mechanics can work on the bikes, where the racers can rest, and where all the gear and equipment is stored. In a big event like this, the pits and everything else is enclosed inside an area usually called the paddocks. Inside them you also have a parking lot for all the trucks, trailers and personal vehicles, a food court, usually open to the public, an administrative area composed by a med bay, a secretary and also an auditorium for briefings, the technical scrutiny area where all the vehicles and gear are checked before the race, and finally the closed park. This is where all the vehicles are kept after the scrutiny to make sure no one moves them or changes anything, also known as
Parc fermé. It's a French thing.
So, it's 7:30, we just woke up and today we have the technical verifications in the morning and in the afternoon we have a special stage.
Saturday the day began with the arrival of the riders and the extra members of the staff. While everyone was busy double checking and readying the bikes, getting their stickers from the secretary and taking the bikes to the technical scrutiny, I was getting distracted by the local fauna.
This is not a normal-sized spider for Portugal.
I couldn't find a flamethrower, so I chose to get rid of the monstrosity peacefully, and gain some karma in return. In races like this, riders depart 1 minute after the last one, so everyone has a specific schedule to reach the starting checkpoint. Ironically, being part of a race team means that you don't get to see much of the race, but surprisingly they didn't consider me an essential personnel, so they gave me a car and allowed me to go to the track to make some videos.
The pilots are back and I'm back to the box as well, so everyone is checking the bikes, making sure things are properly tightened for tomorrow.
I'm not sure what happened to our pilots, if they did a good race or not. I just arrived, so I don't know. When all the repairs were done, it was time to prepare for the next day. So, because the race tomorrow starts and happens in a different place, they are taking half of the headquarters. They are keeping the workstation here, but everything else, like where they have the laptops and most of the equipment and the catering area, it will go to this new area. They need a base there, and so that's what we are doing right now. For Sunday, the last day, there were 2 stages. The one in the morning was quite long and required refueling and assistance halfway. After that, we waited for the pilots in the new pit. And while the mechanics were busy preparing the bikes for the last stage, I was busy pestering John.
João, se precisares de alguma dica... Yeah.
By now, the pilots were exhausted. Nevertheless, I took the liberty of practicing my journalist skills on them.
Então como é que correu a prova 2?
Bem tão cada lado.
Também não, só lubrificar a corrente e atestar de posse.
Alguns danos?
Não, é só mais.
A moral
Danos morais.
Boa.
Não, é só por gasolina e continuar.
Então estás com mais Ana, boa.
And now that you know a little bit more about racing events, let's wrap up the video, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please like, subscribe, hit the thingy, share, and see you guys next week.